Hello, I'm Jared.
And I'm Ebony, and this is his
And hers.
Warhammer 40K.
Yay.
We're back.
We're back after a long bout with sickness and work and more sickness.
And holidays. And we went to PAX.
Yeah, it's been a whole lot. And books have been read and audios have been listened to. And we are on a pretty big backlog in terms of getting videos out.
And we might sound terrible because we've been blessed by Grandfather Nurgle. Very, very blessed.
Yes, indeed.
Today we're talking about Ghazgkull Thraka, Prophet of the WAAAGH.
By
Nate Crowley?
Yes.
Nate Crowley, yeah.
Not to be confused with The Prophets of the WAAAGH, which is a Guy Haley audiobook, which is very good, but unrelated. No, this is about the Ghazgkull Thraka.
It's my first orc book. It might be my second orc book.
What was your first one?
I don't remember what it was called. There were orcs. They were building a spaceship, maybe?
Building a spaceship?
Yeah.
Oh, that might have actually been part of the Guy Haley series of shorts.
Okay.
It was an excellent book.
I liked it.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I'm not a big orc fan. I don't love orc speak.
Eb hates orc speech.
I hate it. It's so distracting. But there's not that much of it in this book.
No, and this is something that... so Eb reads a lot of, fan-written 40K stories as well. And fan writings tend to go way over the top on the amount of orc speech that gets written. And it's usually so drilled in to a particular accent.
Yeah, I don't love it. But there's not that much of it in this book, and I really enjoyed the story for story's sake. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And I do want to cover one quick piece of meme lore before we get into this, because this gets brought up a lot, and it's that Ghazgkull Thraka is meant to be modeled after Margaret Thatcher. Yes. This is
feels like a stretch.
Not true.
Okay.
At all. And you might see, oh, well, he was known as the Iron Orc, just like she was the Iron Lady. That is also not true and has never been written.
Huh.
It's a long-standing piece of meme lore that has been completely debunked by the original creator. There is one reference to Margaret Thatcher in an old Warhammer Fantasy model that a fan submitted, where it was an orc carrying a banner that had Margaret Thatcher's face on it.
Weird.
It's a neat model, but no direct reference here.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, so okay.
Yeah, that's...
good to know, I guess.
No, what we're dealing with here is a classic style of story that we've seen in the Black Legion series, that we've seen. You didn't read Broken Swords, but we dealt with it there, where we have an interviewer, an interviewee, and then the story that is being told there. In this case, we also get a translator in between that who adds some additional color.
I like the translator.
Yes. So we start with Lord Inquisitor Falx of the Ordo Xenos, her retinue, Space Wolf Rune Priest Hendrickson, Cassia, an Ogrin Psyker, unique one there, and later Zotel, the former Kroot.
I think you're still a Kroot. You're canceled. He's a canceled Kroot.
Yeah, exiled Kroot, essentially.
Exiled Kroot.
And in their possession, we have two Grotlings, two Gretchen. We have Biter of the Blood Axes, with a longer name that I can't remember at the moment.
It's real long.
And supposedly the famous Makari. And Makari is, for those who know the tabletop models, little Gretchen that waves a banner. It comes with the Ghazgkull model. And we're basically trying... At the time, Makari doesn't speak Common or Low Gothic.
Yeah, so Biter is his translator for the Inquisitor.
Which I appreciate, because it's also not common knowledge that not all orcs speak Low Gothic, even though those who come from the video games will think they all do.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Biter. He is a colorful character, and his translation, the conversations between him and Makari that become between him and the Inquisitor are interesting. It's always,
Yes.
I always enjoy listening to a translated conversation, right? There's parts that you leave out on purpose and color that you might add on purpose.
There's a number of times where they talk about the language barrier and the meanings behind certain words that was really fascinating.
Yeah, I like that.
The idea that the word for fighting is also the word for writing and speaking and all sorts of other things, just with different inflections to them.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat. Orcs don't use gender if you do a literal translation. All orcs are they, which is a bit of a Nate Crowley thing that he puts in quite a bit.
That's cool. Yeah.
Orcs can keep two polar opposite truths to both be true at the same time.
Because not all truths are the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. What else on orc little bits and pieces were there?
I think for me, there was a lot of like orc society hierarchy that I didn't know because I don't read a lot of orc stories that I got out of this one. Like Gretchen and Snotlings and like intermediate orcs and the whole...
Snotlings are the bottom.
Snotlings are the bottom. And the whole like growing fully out of the ground, which I think I knew, I just didn't... I'd never seen it on the orc end, right? I've always seen it on the Imperial end where we're fighting orcs and they keep popping back up because they grow out of the ground.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed the sort of culture of... Because Makari is going to tell us the story of Ghazgkull coming to power. And so a lot of the orc politics, which are basically, can you beat that dude? And if you can, then you can have his job.
I did love the proper definition for diplomacy, which is basically to beat someone with your mind. Which it makes sense. And also applies to headbutting someone, which is used later in the novel.
Same word.
This is also diplomacy. It is to beat someone with your mind.
Or your literal skull.
Same
Whatever
thing.
works. Yeah.
The orc word is noggin.
Your noggin?
Yes.
I've never hit anyone with my noggin.
You should try it.
No, I think it would hurt. I don't have an orc noggin.
No, there's a technique to it. The trick is that you hit their here with your here.
It's not here to here because
God,
that sounds painful.
No, that will just give you a headache.
We won't be trying that later.
Okay. Something that did jump out at me kind of early is our Inquisitor, quote, main character. She keeps mentioning the Imperial truth. That's not... When this is supposed to take place, which is like modern, like era Indomitus, I think the Great Rift has already occurred. Imperial truth's not really a thing.
Well,
you know?
She's kind of an unreliable narrator in that, like, I mean, we don't get to see her do any of these things, but there's a lot of, like, you're not supposed to be talking to those orcs anyway. You shouldn't be trading weapons to these orcs for this information.
Sure.
But she is trying to, I think, sort of suss out the deal with Ghazgkull because the Imperium hasn't cleanly defeated him and his forces, right? And so that's why she's interested in Makari. But I got the vibe that, like, she does a lot of, which all Inquisitors do, I'm sure, like, there's a lot of backdoor dealings with Xenos that would be frowned upon by the rest of the Inquisition. Yeah. And, like, Hendrickson gives her shit about it sometimes.
Right. Yeah, and then we get into Biter's telling of Makari's telling of Ghazgkull Thraka.
Yeah.
And it really starts off... This is kind of the traditional orc growth pattern, is you are just a boy, and as you... Really, just the longer you live, the
bigger
larger
you get. Yeah.
And that's true for all orcs, generally.
But I feel like Ghazgkull was pretty big at birth, right?
I don't recall that.
Okay, that's fine. I thought he was relatively medium-sized, but that's just based on my reading of the page. And then...
You mean until he got his head blown off?
Yes.
Yeah.
By the doctor dude?
No, it was just part of a regular fight, if I recall.
Okay.
But Grotznick did put him back together.
Right.
Grotznick by the way, has his own whole novel.
Oh, I would read that novel.
Yeah.
He was interesting. Yeah.
Different author.
Okay. I enjoyed it.
yeah.
I enjoy his character.
Grotznick acts as this neat parallel to Makari in all of the storytellings
Yeah.
of, trying to hype up Ghazgkull versus trying to tear him down.
But Grotznick hates Makari. They hate each other.
Oh, yes, they very much hate each other. And we see this neat moment where, quote, Makari is born, where basically he is just kind of a reincarnated consciousness that shows up in whatever Gretchen that Ghazgkull points out and says, "You're Makari now."
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird combo.
Like, orcs fully... this basically confirms, as far as orcs are believe, full reincarnation. You're in the green or you're not in the green.
But he has, like, a hazy period. It's not like a clean reincarnation where he remembers everything that happened up until the moment of his previous incarnation's death. Because there are parts where he's like, I didn't remember that I'm supposed to know this giant orc is Ghazgkull, but it takes him a little while. Or, like, he's not really sure what's happening, but he just picks up a banner and starts running.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so it's not it's not like an elegant reincarnation, but it does seem like it's a full-on reincarnation.
Right, yeah. And we basically go through some pretty big moments in Ghazgkull's life.
I assumed, because I don't read orc stories, that these are known events, and I was supposed to know them.
Somewhat.
Like Armageddon.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was it's the Second War of Armageddon.
Okay.
Although the First War, as far as both the orcs and the rest of the Imperium are concerned.
So it is the first and also the second?
Okay, so the First War of Armageddon was against Angron and the World Eaters manifesting on it.
Okay.
And the Grey Knights came in and took care of it.
Okay.
So as far as anyone is concerned, that didn't happen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the history books basically say there's only 2 wars for Armageddon. One against Ghazgkull and one against Ghazgkull again.
I see.
Yeah.
We're just not talking about...
No.
Okay.
No.
Got it. Yeah, and so we are getting everything up until... We get his story up until the first one, and I do think we get to go back for the second one? No.
We do see it at the end, yeah.
He's going back.
No.
That's how it's ending, right? Yeah.
Actually, just sorry, I'm jumping around. Urk, the planet that they started on.
Yes.
I really liked that whole development cycle of how they got off the planet and how he had defined, like, it really showed a lot of diversity in orc subspecies. And it answered a lot of questions. So, like, there are just random, almost feral orcs that have spaceships.
Okay.
That live among the random planetoids.
Okay.
And so he was able to call them down, and he was able to pull in all of the different clans.
Yeah. And, like, there was the Jet Bike clan, right? Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed a little bit more of Orc Society. I always like to hear about Gork and Mork, like a little bit of Orc theology, I guess. Yeah, and that is sprinkled throughout because, obviously, Ghazgkull thinks he's, like, an incarnation of Gork and Mork. And so I enjoyed that a lot.
There's actually there's a part near the end where Grotznick explains to Makari why certain orcs use a black and white checkered pattern on a lot of things.
Okay.
Now, as far as the Imperium believes, although they have forgotten this knowledge, it is because it is meant to model after the last great loss that the orcs had. That basically who was the biggest and baddest that defeated them. And that would have been at Ulanor against the Luna Wolves.
I see.
However, what Grotznick says is the kind of polar opposite of that. Well, not polar opposite, but just a completely different explanation. He's saying, for contrast, because you need 2 things that are opposite so they can fight each other.
Okay.
And that is what makes a whole. You are complete if you have a you and you have a thing to fight you.
Oh, and they have a name for that, right? Orcs have a name for the thing to fight you, because Ghazgkull has one. Like, there's a leader of the Imperium forces on Armageddon who is
Commissar Yarrick.
Yeah, his like permanent enemy. They have a word for frenemy. I forget what the word is, but I remember thinking, oh, that's kind of cute.
Now, if I recall, does Yarrick even show up in this?
You
book?
don't see him, but they talk about him.
And about Yarrick.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. We always want. We have talismans of our own. If you're more potent than Yarrick.
Yeah, they don't. They just talk about him. Yeah. But we never actually see him. We never see anything from the Imperium side. We see the war.
There is a whole trilogy
about Yarrick.
About Yarrick and Ghazgkull.
Huh.
I have not gotten around to read it, but people say it is decent. Yeah, but Yarrick and Ghazgkull is a whole thing. The fandom loves it, and with Yarrick's supposed death, there's all sorts of meme lore that Ghazgkull went on.
Oh, the word is grod.
What is it?
A grod. Grod.
Grod?
Yeah. He had a grod. And he says there's no human word for it, just like there's no orc word for when a human really, really likes another human and it causes loads of problems, which I think is love. There's no orc word for love.
Yep.
And he says, actually, these two things aren't that different. Perhaps it's the same word. Yeah, it's like
that is definitely a play on the fan community belief that Yarrick and Ghazgkull are an item.
They are an item. A grod is an item. It's your It's your permanent enemy. I guess nemesis. Our word for that would be nemesis.
Would be nemesis.
But you don't like your. Maybe you do. Maybe you're bored when you don't have a nemesis, and also an orc would be bored if he didn't have anything to fight.
That is true. So. Yep. What else about this book? Oh, we get some really interesting point of view changes because there's one part where it's Makari, most of the story is Makari's perspective,
yeah.
But sometimes it's him talking about Ghazgkull,
yeah. And
then in one time we are Makari,
yeah, and that was weird.
That is us,
yeah.
Basically, Hendrickson does an old Space Wolf ritual to embody Makari in order to see the fight.
It was gross and weird.
Yeah. That was the fight against I'm forgetting his name. Oh, this is terrible.
I don't know.
The primary Space Wolf
Hendrickson?
No, Captain who killed him.
Who killed Ghazgkull?
Yeah. Hang on.
I don't remember. All of my memories are about brain surgeries.
A lot of brain surgeries.
There's a lot of brain surgery in this book. Brain surgery and group street riots.
Ragnar Blackman. That's who it was.
Yes, that does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of my memories of this book are about brain surgery and orc street riots, which kind of sound like fun parties, but also you might die. I don't know. Yes, Ragnar Blackmane is there and does behead him, and it's a big deal, and it felt like this is a thing I should know. It's Warhammer history. I just didn't know it.
So that originally occurs in the not the Gathering Storm, the Psychic Awakening.
Okay.
Which was at the start of 8th edition.
Okay.
And that led into Ghazgkull's new model. So
I actually haven't seen the model. I meant to look it up when I was reading this book, but I never looked it up.
Let me see if I can find it for
you.
you.
And I want to see the Makari model.
There have been several Makari models.
I've never painted an orc.
Oh, you don't like painting green.
I do not love green. But I would green for the sake of green. So
this is the current one.
Oh, okay. I like it.
This is Banner.
It's cute. He's cute. Yeah, I would paint green. I want to paint Death Guard. It's gonna be light green, pale green.
And then this is the original Ghazgkull and Makari.
Original. He's so small. I like it. Yeah. I would never paint that checkerboard pattern.
No.
Because I like my sanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything we didn't cover. It's a very straightforward story. It's mostly the story. It's ostensibly the story of Ghazgkull coming to power and falling and why they think he's coming back, etc.
Yep.
But what it really is the story of Makari's life, which I actually found he's more interesting than Ghazgkull. I know.
Well, there are some interesting parts where Ghazgkull has like moments of uncertainty.
Yes.
About
the
plan and what he's expected to do and whether the gods have abandoned him.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
And in most of those moments, Makari pops up and says something that makes Ghazgkull punch him, but also like sets him right on the right path. Yeah. And so it does feel a lot like Makari is supposed to be, oh, that one's cooler. It kind of feels like Makari is a little bit directing him.
Yeah.
And I like that. Yeah. There isn't a lot of story here, especially if you're already an orc fan and well aware of Ghazgkull Thraka. There's not a lot of like new story.
There's a lot of nuance. I think that's presented here. Yeah. I did also appreciate the representation of the blood axes in the form of Biter. So Nate Crowley has written some other short stories about the blood axes, and they're a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you haven't given this one a score?
If I had to give this one a score, it'd probably be a 9 out of 10.
Huh.
There's a few little bits that kind of wrinkled me the wrong way, but otherwise I had a lot of fun with this.
I'm so surprised. We almost never have the same score. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I liked the story. I felt like it had a good story arc. I cared about the characters, and I feel like it was very distilled. There wasn't a lot of like distraction or fluff, and it was just fun.
The ending could have been a little bit more than was there. We're kind of left with just like a he's back type of ending.
Yeah.
But I think, 9 out of 10 is where I'd put it. Good job.
All right, what's next for us?
So next we're going to do a Warhammer crime novel.
King of the Spoil?
The King of the Spoils, which I think is the last formal Warhammer crime novel that we have left to do.
Anything on your wish list for reading?
Oh boy. At this point we've got upcoming The Dropsite Massacre, Ashes of the Imperium.
I'm excited for those.
Hang on, now you're making me pull my list out.
You don't have to list them all. It just
I know. At one point, maybe The Hiatus Oath, which is the Votan novel.
Yeah, you did say that.
We could always go back and do Brutal Cunning, which is Nate Crowley's first.
I would be willing.
No, I'm wrong. Brutal Cunning was Mike Brooks.
I like Mike Brooks, and I would be willing to read an orc book.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So we'll be back next time. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.